HBCU game day, and we've had a lot of people on. We've had the coaches, athletic directors, commissioners, but everybody wants to talk about the guy who spearheaded this whole ruckus. And we happened to finally catch up with him, got him on. He's still on the phone, you know, trying to get the interview. But Mr. Courtney Gautier, VP and Director of Athletics at Florida A&M University, since his time coming in, started working in late November. And since then, he has moved FAMU from the MEAC to the SWAC, something that has been speculated for years. But Courtney, how were you able to make this happen?
You know, I will say that, you know, it's been a lot of hard work and you know, effort from my staff. This isn't a one-man job. You know, our Chief Financial Officer in Athletics, Ms. Craig Lockley, and Deputy Athletic Director, Keith McClooney, very influential in this process. You know, a lot of data mining and conversations, and the past couple of weeks, I feel like I've been a party whip.
Right.
But really, you know, it starts with getting that information and then alignment with not only your board of trustees, but your president and all of our constituents who help support this decision, whether it be the National Alumni Association, your booster clubs, and even the student body population. And so all of those things, we had to put in work to get them aligned to land on the same page. And I think once we articulated the opportunities that existed in the SWAC and some of the challenges that we face as an institution, it was a very clear decision.
Well, that is great. And especially amid the pandemic and not a lot of sports going on, the speculation and then the excitement about it actually happened was phenomenal, as you saw on social media and on all platforms, especially Twitter, but across all platforms. Like, absolutely. I've never seen so much junk talked. I mean, we're still 2 years away.
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely. So, you know, I made a statement which is factual, that nobody in the SWAC's ready to see the March 100. And, you know, I think I started a riot when I started that. But to your point, yeah, I've seen some reports that said this conversation was the 22nd most viewed thing on Twitter this week. And, you know, we're in a global pandemic. We've got some social issues that are really paramount at this time, and for us to be a part of that conversation. But I think it goes to echo and reaffirms this decision for us, because it shows our brand and what our ability to really change the game in HBCU athletics, you know, what we can do here in FAMU.
Let me take a little history to stroll back in FAMU history. In around 2003, 2004, an athletic director and a board of trustees came in quickly without a lot of research, came in and moved the program from Division I AA to Division I as they were called at the time. That was a tragic move because it was not thought out. It was not planned. No one ever really saw numbers. The ramifications of it are still being seen every day. I know as you're probably seeing some things that probably relate back to that failed move. But this one was different. This one had, in the Board of Trustees committee meeting, a unanimous decision. In the Board of Trustees meeting, a unanimous decision. I talked to Derek Horn at Alcorn last night, a good friend of ours who worked here previously. Yeah. Derek said it was a no-brainer. Yeah. So it was a unanimous decision with the athletic directors and another unanimous decision among the university presidents and chancellors of the SWAC. That basically indicates that this is much different than that move. Mm-hmm. And Rattlers that were gun shy before, what can they be confident about in the move to the SWAC?
Well, I think they can be confident in the fact that FAMU athletics, the future is bright, and we're just getting started. You know, in my short 7 months here on the Hill, there's been a lot of things that we've done differently, and that's the reason I'm here, is to do them differently. But understanding that the landscape of intercollegiate athletics, it changes daily in our industry. Mm-hmm. There have been some attempts to do some things before. I think it was a different time with a different subset of circumstances. For us, the timing, we kind of had in our mind over the past 3-4 months that, we've got to see if the timing's right now because of what we've got going on around the world, right, or do we need to punt this a couple of years? And the more we really evaluated the long-term financial ramifications of continuing down that path, it made total sense to do it now. And again, I think for our student athletes, the student athlete experience is going to increase by, having more time in the classroom, competing against perennial names from a geographical standpoint. I think it's going to help our university recruitment efforts and really be able to tap into some of our alumni chapters that we haven't seen that often. And then, the expense reduction. But it was a bittersweet thing. I'll say this, and I'd be totally remiss if I didn't. Dr. Dennis Thomas and the MEAC, it's a fine conference. If it had not been for the MEAC affording FAMU the opportunity to play Division I athletics, I don't know where we would be. And so we will forever be indebted to the MEAC and Dr. Dennis Thomas for their service to us. And he's been a first-class leader through this process, and he understands it. And just the landscape has changed and required us to break a lot of our longstanding traditions.
I like that you said that. I like to first, before I get to the next question, big props out to Dr. Dennis Thomas. Let me tell you, there were some things like the MEAC Hall of Fame that was one of the best events you see anywhere, any level. And there were great things that we enjoyed in the MEAC. And so the move is definitely, I like the fact that trustee chairman Kevin Lawson said, this is not a slight on the MEAC at all. This is just a move for FAMU. And I like the fact that you're echoing that. Another thing that, for our fans, for the half times alone, they would move from the MEAC to the SWAC. For that, I'm just being honest. We've been in the Rattler Nation forever. Just being from the for the halftime perspective.
There you go.
From your perspective, it's a little more holistic, but we had vice chairman of the board of trustees on HBCU game day shortly after the meeting. And we asked her, and she got smiles because she said, I'm on the financial side, and with the struggles we've had, this is finally something I believe in that will help our financial situation.
Absolutely.
And so it's multifaceted, the advantages of moving to the SWAC to help you to balance that budget.
Absolutely. I mean, I think that's one of the key factors. There was a lot of things that were measured in this process. Financially, we have to do what's in the best interest of our programs. And every HBCU around the country is trying to do that. Mm-hmm. For us, things have changed drastically over the past 5 years, 10 years, 15 years. And so the business model has changed. But here in the state of Florida, we are required to be self-sustaining. We don't get a lot of additional institutional or state support. And so my theory has been, my job as athletic director is to provide access and opportunities for the populations that we serve. Okay. And so for my 329 student athletes, it's no secret over the past 2-3 years, we've cut programs. We've eliminated and reduced access and opportunities for those communities we're supposed to serve. And this move allows us to regroup, recalibrate, strengthen our brand a little bit, and to put ourselves in a position where we can now grow our department long term. This decision is going to set FAMU as an institution on a trajectory that's going to far exceed what anything Courtney Gautier has done. Yeah.
Awesome. And going back to our conversation with Kimberly Moore from the vice chair of the board of trustees, she made an interesting comment. She said, most of the board meeting was about an institution strategizing on how to reopen safely, responsibly amid a pandemic. With that being said, and all that research done to that, it obviously, in a lot of senses, was trumped by the fact that something was happening in athletics, and that because people are so starved from sports and that sort of thing and tired of even hearing the word COVID-19, that this was something removed for that they could get behind. Just talk about that. And I know you're working diligently through it. In the near future, what do you think the impact of COVID-19 will be on the restart of athletics for 2020?
Great question. This is uncharted territory for so many institutions, presidents, athletic directors, first-year athletic directors. So I can tell you, since hitting the hill, there's not a honeymoon period. Right. But I think it's challenged us to think differently. We have to operate in the best interest of our student athletes. But when you talk about the lifeblood of any campus, I think it starts with athletics. It's the temperature. It's the thing that really gets people excited about getting back to campus. The homecoming experience, which I'm really looking forward to. The pageantry, the bands, all of that is so critical to what we know to be campus life. And so I think people are starved for it because it's special. It gives people something to look forward to when, in so many cases, we've been isolated. And so I think people are genuinely committed to making sure that happens. Now, it will be different when we reopen. All indications at this point look really good for us to kick off Labor Day weekend in Miami. And so things are moving along. Will we have a full stadium? I don't know. More than likely, it will be a little bit different where people may have to be socially distant. You may have to wear a mask, and those are the things that we're taking precautions to prepare ourselves for. But at the end of the day, we've taken a really deeper look at it, just beyond reopening and participating in athletics. This thing has disproportionately affected our community. All of our teams, are in that population that could be affected by underlying health issues such as sickle cell, hypertension, et cetera, et cetera. And so we want to make sure that we put our student athletes in a position where they're going to be safe, that we have protocols, that we're aligned with the university on introducing them back to campus. As early as later this month, we will have some of our football student athletes back, and we'll continue to phase all of our kids back until we have them all back on campus. But we are trending in the right direction. Well,
great. Well, thank you for taking time out. I know he's got 2 phones. They've been ringing off the hook, of course. So I'm glad he took time. Thank you for taking time for us at HBCU Game Day to give us a little insight. It has really added some excitement, catapulting 2020 forward, and we wish you well.
No doubt.
For HBCU Game Day, this has been Vaughn Wilson with Courtney Gautier.